Hello, good evening. It's Friday. My name is Richard, and this is over the Arsenal Women's Channel. Of course, it is Euro 2025 weekly, and what a week it has been for the Lionesses. Well, could it have got any more dramatic? Well, I don't think it could have, could it? Let's be honest. It's been quite a week. So we're going to look back on the last two brilliant matches from the Lionesses. We're going to look at the last week of the tournament, and also, of course, we are going to look ahead to Sunday's final, England against Spain again. Second tournament in a row we're facing Spain in the final. It's going to be good, this. So let's get into it. And of course, joining us as usual is, of course, the Lord Andreas. How are you this week, my friend?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. I'm not bad at all, and back to reality after these exciting games, and looking forward to another final with our Lionesses. Yeah.
Yes, it's been quite a week, hasn't it? Let's be honest. We've been through pretty much every emotion possible, and somehow, despite everything, we've managed to sneak our way through into the final, and it's been quite a week. I mean, I suppose really, I know we haven't been able to do a show since, but obviously the quarter final we'll start with against Sweden, and what an incredible game of football, first of all, that was. I mean, from a neutral perspective, as a game of football, I can't think of too many better adverts for the women's game, actually. It was just two teams, very, very high quality. Obviously, England had a really bad start. We could have been 3 or 4-0 down in the first 15, 20 minutes. We were all over the place, didn't seem to know what we were doing. And Sweden scored a couple of good goals, well finished, made the most of our mistakes. And then slowly but surely, we kind of found a way to claw ourselves back into the game. And obviously, as has been a theme, it was the substitution in the end that ended up making a big difference. And of course, from an Arsenal perspective, how fantastic has it been to see Michelle Adjemang not only coming off the bench and getting minutes in the tournament, which is incredible for someone so young and so inexperienced, but to produce the performances that she's put in. Obviously, the goals on top of that as well, the vital goals, late equalisers in both games. I mean, quite incredible when you think last season she was out on loan at Brighton, she was struggling to get minutes on the pitch at times, and yet here she is, pretty much, the big talking point of the whole tournament has been Michelle Adjemang's performances in the last two games. It's been quite incredible, hasn't it, for her and for the Lionesses, I suppose, as a group.
Yeah, it's like a miracle for her, I think, and she's living her own dream at the moment. And I remember a podcast from Tim Stillman before the Euros. He was discussing it with Jamie Spanger. What about the squad, and in connection with Arsenal's squad next season? What about Michelle Adjemang? And I remember Tim saying that if she doesn't have a sensational breakthrough at the Euros, she will probably go on loan again. Well, here we are. She has this sensational breakthrough. And I don't think anybody has expected her to to lead her mark in such an incredible way. It's not only the goals she's got. Of course, we wouldn't be in the tournament without her 2 goals, but it's the way she plays in these 5 or 10 minutes she's on the pitch. And I mean, she's if I'm right, she's 19 years young, and look at her and her physicality, and yeah, she brings something totally different to Leslie Russo or to Aggie Beever-Jones. She's more a physical player than these two are, and that for a 19-year young girl who has not played so much in the WSL, who has not performed over a complete season. It's, as I said, it's a miracle, and for the Lionesses, it's exactly what we needed. We needed a player who comes out of nothing, who is for the opposition teams, an unknown person, and I think that's also something that makes that makes it possible what she's doing, because the other coaches, the other defenders, they don't really know who is this Michelle Agiman? How is she playing? How can we defend her? What are her strengths or her weaknesses? And it's sometimes these things happen in a tournament, and we are lucky to have her. And moreover, we as Arsenal are lucky to have her signed on a long-term contract. I think if she wouldn't be a Ghana, we would now try to do everything to get her under contract. And we are lucky she is under contract, and we can discuss with her after the tournament what's her future. But I can't see us sending the hero of the Euros away on loan. It's fantastic.
No, it is, yeah, and I think before the season, everybody was maybe thinking about Aggie Jones as maybe being the young forward player who would have the impact in the tournament. She scored a few goals in the build-up, and she was getting a lot more minutes. She'd been involved in the squad for a lot longer, and suddenly, almost out of nowhere, Michelle's got herself in the squad on the back of that brilliant goal she scored against Belgium. And not only is she in the squad, but she's actually made the biggest impact in a way, quite similar to the impact that Leslie had herself in the last Euros, coming off the bench, getting important goals. And now Michelle's taken on that role, coming off the bench and getting these vital goals. And it's not just the goals either, is it? It's the way, like you said, she's just got out there, no fear whatsoever. She's put herself about, she's, sometimes a little bit over enthusiastic with some of her challenges and stuff like that. But that's what you want to see. You want to see a young player who's prepared to, to give it, throw it all out there. And that's what she's done. And an incredible tournament. We've seen her play a few times for Arsenal, and, obviously been following her career on loan and stuff like that. And I've got to be honest, even I'm quite surprised at the impact she's made now. I didn't think she was quite ready yet to make that step up. But she's proved everybody wrong. Obviously Serena's shown faith in her. Serena's seen it in her in training and stuff like that. And it's been an amazing thing. And, now obviously I think we can't all wait till next season and see, where her career is going to move forward from this point, because at the moment she's probably the most talked about player in women's football in Europe. It's certainly a young player. Everybody's talking about her, because no one had even heard of her 2 weeks ago, really, outside of England, outside of Arsenal. Not many people have even heard of her, let alone now everybody's talking about her. She's made such an impact in this last week in particular. It's just been incredible. Greg, we was doing, my friend, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. He says she's done well because she's been supported, whereas Russo was left up front on her own. Yeah, no, that's true. She's coming on, and generally she's playing alongside another striker. Sometimes it's Leslie. Obviously, the other night it was Aggie Beever-Jones. They came on together. And yes, I do think having two strikers up there makes a difference. Leslie's been very isolated in all the games so far. She's had to drop so much deep or go wide just to get involved in the play. So she's not in the box to score the goal. She's got a few assists, just that one goal she's got in the tournament. So, and obviously Michelle's got more goals than Leslie in the tournament overall, which seems incredible. But it ultimately doesn't matter who scores the goals, I suppose. But yeah, you're right. Leslie doesn't really have much support up front when she's played, and obviously Michelle's come on and offered that extra body in the box. She puts herself where she needs to be, and she's very, very calm when the chances fall. So yes, they've been two fairly straightforward chances in a way. The first one, a good cross, it fell to her inside the 6-yard box and she tucked it away. And then obviously the second one against Italy, again, the goalkeeper spilled the ball and she took her time, showed composure and fired it in. Two really good finishes at such an important point in the match as well. So she's got a massive future ahead of her. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the performance I thought against Italy, I mean, she had a big impact against Sweden, but the performance against Italy, not only the goal, just the way she played, I thought she was brilliant. Her touch, she nearly got that other goal when it hit the crossbar, and her all-round play in that game was sensational. It really, really was. And I didn't think she was ready to produce those type of performances at that level. And she has. It's incredible. So pleased for her, because she's so down to earth, isn't she? You hear her interviews and she doesn't want to talk about her own performance and what she's done. It's how the team have done and how grateful she is for the opportunity she's been given. And that's really refreshing to hear from such a young player, isn't it? Because it would be easy for her to get carried away, you know, on the back of what she's just done. But no, her feet are firmly on the ground. And I just think that seems to be coming from the Arsenal Academy. We seem to be producing players that have got that in the men's team as well as the women's team. And we're doing a lot right at that level of football, I think, and in the club. And it's good to see a player like Michelle, say, so level-headed and down to earth. She reminds me quite a lot in interviews of Bukayo Saka when he was sort of 18, 19, just breaking in, you know, very humble and stuff like that. And hopefully her career will go off in a similar direction. It certainly looks as though it might do early, you know, in the early days of it, of course. Still got a lot of work to do. Greg says Kelly has been a revelation. Yeah, I mean, Chloe Kelly's another one. I mean, it's been quite a good tournament for Arsenal players. Certainly in the Lionesses squad, you know, Leslie's been player of the match a couple of times, got a lot of assists. We spoke about Michelle Adjumang, what an impact she's made. But absolutely right, Chloe Kelly is another one. I mean, what a fantastic impact she's had on this tournament. You know, coming off the bench in losing moments in the game and helping to turn things around. I mean, she's been fantastic, hasn't she? Not only for Arsenal, I thought she had a brilliant end to the season for Arsenal anyway, but her performances in the Euros have gone up another level, haven't they?
Yeah, the fact is, Chloe Kelly is changing the games. I mean, Michelle is scoring the important equalizers, but the way Chloe changes the game when she's on the pitch, it's incredible. And yeah, I remember when in January when she signed on loan for us, we said, okay, she will give her everything to make it in the squad. And yeah, but we were not convinced about her, or that she will find back to her best performance, to her best level. But what she's showing at the Euros is, yeah, it's the best Chloe Kelly we've ever seen. And she's the one who turns things around. And the whole performance, the whole way England is playing changes with Chloe Kelly on the pitch. We have a winger who stays outside and brings one cross after the other. And every cross from her, every corner is so dangerous for the opponents. Yeah, I can only say it again. If she's in for 15 minutes or 12 minutes or so, the game changes, and it's very difficult for the opposition side to adapt to this new situation. And of course, when Chloe comes in after 70 or 75 minutes, the defenders get tired. It's not that's they have a calm afternoon or evening, and then okay, a new striker or attacker is coming in. No, they are tired from really exhausting 75 minutes, and then there is a Chloe Kelly with all this energy and her runs she makes and crosses, and yeah, that's game changing, and so important for us to bring on two players as super subs now in 2 games in a row. We were nearly out in both games, and these two made the turnaround. And for us, it's just a dream that's both Arsenal players.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say it's been a great tournament for Arsenal players so far as well. And yeah, I mean, Chloe Kelly has been, like you said, she's been the game changer, really. You know, yes, Michelle's got the goals and she's had to put them away, and she's been brilliant. But Chloe Kelly, you're right, Chloe Kelly's been the one that's made the difference. You know, in the last Euros, it was Tooney and Leslie Russo. This tournament, it's Chloe Kelly and Michelle Adjumang. Now they're the game changers, aren't they? And it's been fantastic to witness. But obviously, it's been quite stressful as well. You know, the Sweden game, we were 2-0 down for so long, and it looked as though we were never going to make it back. And of course, Italy, we couldn't have left it any later, could we? A 6 minute of stoppage time when we finally got the goal, which we probably deserved for the second half. I thought we played a lot better in the second half. We were pretty poor in the first half of that game, but we got better and better as it went along, a bit like the Sweden game, really. And, you know, it may not have been from an England sort of perspective, I don't think it's been the best tournament we've ever had. You know, we haven't necessarily played particularly well for long enough in games. We've had good spells in every game, but we haven't played well enough for long enough periods to dominate games too much. Apart from maybe the Holland game was the one that stood out, you know, where we really played well for 90 minutes. But other than that, we've played well in spells against France towards the end. Obviously, Sweden and Italy, we played well at the end. And, you know, Wales, we played quite well in that game, but I didn't think Wales were very good, particularly, you know, the first tournament and stuff like that. But it's been a bit of a mixed bag, a bit like the World Cup was last time, really. England was a bit hit and miss in that tournament and managed to find a way to get through to the final. And obviously that's a good characteristic to have, isn't it? To find a way to win, to find a way to make it through when you're not at your best. And, you know, obviously the players off the bench, as we've said, have come on and changed the games. And this has been a theme under Serena for quite some time, even in the last Euros, going back to then. In the World Cup, players are coming off the bench and scoring goals and having impact. So she's doing something right, Serena, in that sense. But I just wish we could find a way to start the games better and be on the front foot rather than chasing and chasing. Yes, it's worked for us, but you know, we'll talk about the final in a little while as well. But, you know, there's going to be games against certain teams where you can't afford to start as badly as we have and come back and you're not going to get away with it like we have done. So that's something we need to work on. But it's certainly been exciting to watch. One something to go that says, do you think we'll sign a midfielder to replace Marnham, or should we drop Russo down into the number 10? Well, I don't know why we need to replace Marnham necessarily. What we need to do is, improve the squad, which is what we're doing, aren't we? So far in the transfer window, you know, we've brought in Taylor Hines, we've brought in Olivia Smith. Obviously, we've got Chloe Kelly signed permanent. We've bought the second choice goalkeeper. So we've made good business. Do we need another midfield player? Yes, we probably do. I wouldn't say it's to replace Frida Marnham. I would say it's to add strength to the squad. You know, we've got Vicky Palova, don't forget, back fit now. She had a brilliant Euros, actually. I thought she was one of Holland's best players. So that's a good sign for us. Obviously, we've got Kyra Cooney-Cross as well, who didn't really feature much towards the end of the season, but we know how good she is. We've got players there to rotate. But, yeah, obviously, we can always get more good players in. The more depth you've got, as Chelsea have shown, the more chance you've got of being successful, because players get injured, tired, and all this kind of stuff. It's a heavy schedule now in the women's, the top level women's game, all the international games as well. So yeah, I mean, will we sign one? I'm not sure. We've just broken the record transfer fee to get Olivia Smith in. Have we got money left to buy anybody else and bring anyone else in? I'm not sure. I'm hoping at least one more player will come in. If I'm honest, I'd like to see one more new player arrive before the season starts, but let's get the Euros out of the way first. I'm sure some more transfer business will get done. I mean, Andreas, do you think maybe we need another midfield player, or are you fairly happy now we've had a squad shaping up? Because we're looking good, aren't we, now with the players we brought in?
Yeah, I think so far we did good business in this transfer window. For me, it's always the position holding midfielder. I think we all know that Wally will not be available for every single game, and can Kyra play the number 6 role as a sole holding midfielder? I don't know. Kim had a fantastic second half of the season, but she's 34 now, and we say it every year, it's probably her last season, or the last season in which she can perform on highest level. So I would like to bring in a holding midfielder, but where in the market is a player you would say this is the one we must buy? And a number 10, Frida Marnham, she had a good season, but not the very good season as 2 years ago. But let's see how Vicky Palova fits in the new season. As you said, she was maybe the best Dutch player in this tournament, and she's nearly back to her best level. So our squad is very good, and I'm not sure that we are doing more business. I think we will try to get one midfielder, maybe a number 6 or a number 10. But if not, we will. We'll say, okay, that's the squad for the season, and if necessary, let's do more business in the January window. I mean, we spent more than 1 million. Of course, we had a lot of players in the past coming for free, so the money was there. But Yeah, we are not Chelsea, who's throwing money on every player who's available. So maybe, but I don't. I'm not convinced that we will do more business, and the spot is looking good for the new season.
No, it is. I'm really excited actually with the signings that we've made. You know, we've got a player in at left back, which was a slight problem issue for me in Taylor Hines. So that's a good signing. Obviously, she knows the club already, and obviously Olivia Smith's one we've all spoken about. Again, you see, it's obvious that the club listened to us because we've been talking about Olivia Smith most of last season, and the club went out and got that deal done. And obviously, we needed a second choice goalkeeper, which we've now got. So that's a positive as well. So, and obviously Chloe Kelly signed on a permanent, which we're all delighted about, obviously. So, yeah, I mean, if we go into the season, obviously we'll get onto Arsenal in a few weeks' time as we head towards a new season. But if we went into the season with the squad that we've got at the moment, I'd be quite happy. I wouldn't have any problems. I think we've got strength in depth that we need. We've got players that we can rest and rotate, and we're not weakening the team too much. You know, in the forward line now, we're obviously Michelle maybe coming into the squad a bit more this season. You know, she's going to be fighting for minutes alongside, obviously, Stina, who's had a brilliant Euros as well, actually, for Sweden. Wow, she was sensational for them. And obviously, Leslie Russo. So, you know, we've got plenty of what Chloe Kelly, Beth Mead in the wide areas. Caitlin Fall, she had a great season last year. You know, we've got the strength there. You know, we've got the covering defence. You know, Leia Cadena, Lotta Wuba Moy hardly played last season. So, yeah. I'm happy with the squad we've got now. So, yeah, not a problem at all. Greg says, do you think Mead is going now? We've signed Smith and Kelly. I hope not. I hope she's not going. I think she's shown in the Euros as well that she's still got a lot to offer. And she's shown it in glimpses for us. And she's not been at her best. I think we'll all agree that. But will she leave? I don't think so. Do you think she'll go, Andreas, or do you think she's maybe still committed to Arsenal? I think she is. I think she'll stay.
I think she'll stay one more season. 4 or 6 weeks ago, I would have said, I think she's going if we sign Chloe. But now I have this gut feeling she's staying for one more year, and then maybe next season there will be a big turnaround in the squad with Wally, with Kim, with Beth. But so far, I heard nothing, no rumor that Beth might leave or others want to sign her. And no, she seems to be settled, and it's okay. And I think also the long distance between Viv and her seemed to work, and I think she will stay this year as long as her contract is running. Maybe we'll discuss it in December or January again. Depends how the season develops, how injury situation is, how many minutes every player gets, but at the moment, I don't expect her to leave.
No, I don't think she will. I mean, she seems very. I mean, towards the end of last season as well, and she seems sort of happy and settled at Arsenal. And yes, the Viv situation last year, I think, did put a little bit of stress on the whole thing with Beth and stuff like that, which is understandable. But I think that's settled down. I think you can see that Viv's happy enough at Manchester City. You know, I think she seems to be happy at Arsenal still. And I don't necessarily think, I agree, I don't think she'll go now. Yes, will it be another year? Will it be another 2 years? I'm not sure. But I don't imagine she's going to leave at the end of it. I think, just won the Champions League. I don't think she'll want to leave. I don't think anybody will want to leave a club that's just had that success. And she played a massive part in that, didn't she? Coming off the bench to set up the goal that won it and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't foresee her leaving now this summer. Absolutely not. Yes, maybe January. Depends on, like you said, if she doesn't get many minutes in the first half of the season, there might be a rethink then. But I think she's still got a part to play. I definitely do. I think she's shown towards the end of last season, she showed glimpses of it. She's shown glimpses in the Euros for me when she's played that, she's still got a lot to offer. And I would keep her, me personally. I don't think she'll leave. John says, Media's just getting back to her best. I think 2 years. Well, yeah, maybe 2 years. I'm not sure if she's quite getting back to her best. She's certainly got better. I mean, she's really struggled since she came back from her injuries for form, hasn't she? For consistency, she's maybe found it difficult to get back towards her level that she was at. But at the time she got injured, she was literally, there wasn't too many players better than her in the world. So it was always going to be tough. But yeah, she's on her way back. I think she's played a lot better in the last 3 or 4 months, 6 months maybe. And I'm sure Rene wants to keep her. I'm certain that, you know, and I'm sure Beth wants to stay. She looks as though she wants to stay. But you know, obviously there's going to be no talk at the minute where the Euros is on. Once the tournament's finished at the weekend, we're going to then start, obviously players are going to go on holiday and stuff like that, and then, you know, obviously come back to training, and then we'll see, I suppose, and see where they are. But I don't think Beth will go. I don't think she will, not now. One somebody going says, can Smith play central or only on the wing? She can play all the way along, all the way through the front line. Yeah, she's played more on the wing for Liverpool. But it's good to have a player like that with those options, because she can play through the middle. She can play. I think she's more likely to play in a more wider position. I think that's what she's been brought in for, rather than a central attackers. Now you think as central attackers, we've got Leslie Russo, we've got Stina, and we've got Michelle Agimang, and that's 3 players that, you know, that's more than enough really for that position. And I think Olivia Smith's come in to play more of a wider position, maybe cover on that left-hand side for Caitlin Fall, rotate and rest with her, be battling for her with a place in the team and stuff like that. So that's what I personally feel her role is going to be more. But she can play through the middle if necessary. We can play 2 up front at times, and she's an option there. She can come in, and, you know, I'm excited for her to be playing. I mean, Andreas, what do you think Olivia Smith's main role is going to be? Because obviously we paid a lot of money for her, so she's going to be expected to play quite a lot and not sit on the bench.
Yes, but she's 21, and she can't be a ready-made player. She's still developing, and she's still getting better and better. Give her 3-4 years, then she's coming into her peak years, but not at the age of 21. It's a bet on the future, of course. If you buy a 21 young player with so much talent and who had such a good season, paying £1 million for her, it's of course a bet on the future. We are convinced she will develop, she will get better, and I don't see her a starting player from the very first match day. I think we will start with Caitlin Ford, and why not? Caitlin had a very good season, but especially the year before, but also last season, we overplayed Caitlin, and now we have the chance to rotate. And the good thing is Olivia Smith also proved at Liverpool that she is able to adapt to the WSL, to the system that's played in England. And yeah, the good thing for her is she is a winger. We saw it in our games against Liverpool, especially in the FA Cup, where she was brilliant against Katie McCabe. But she also can play central, and that gives Renee more options to react from the players on the pitch, but also with the substitutes. And yeah, I'm very optimistic, and I think the way Olivia Smith spoke in her first interview, or the way she behaved when she came to London Colney to sign the contract, what we saw on video, yeah, that's she seems to be humble and willing to learn, and she doesn't come as I'm the superstar, or I want to play 90 minutes in every game. I think she's coming really with humble, and says, I want to learn, I want to develop, and of course she wants to play, and she will play. At least in end of February, when Caitlin is leaving for the Asia Cup, then Olivia must be ready to fit in. And yeah, I'm optimistic she will have a good season and develop. And yeah, let's speak about her in 2 or 3 years, and we will say one of the best wingers in the world, and so happy that she's a Gunner. So I'm optimistic for her development.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's a great signing. I mean, I say we spoke about her enough last season, so you know it's great to get that one over the line. And yeah, it's options again, isn't it? And yeah, you're right. She is still young, she is still learning, but you know, if a player's good enough, they're old enough, kind of thing. And you know, she certainly proved that she's good enough, but there's a lot of competition at Arsenal now. You know, we're Champions League winners, and you know everyone wants to play for us. It's going to be a big season. It's going to be a difficult season because everyone will want to beat us. So yeah, it's good to have that option, and she's a great player. I'm sure she's going to turn out to be an absolute bargain for the price that we've got her for, because hopefully she'll be with us for a very long time because she's still so young. But yeah, she can play in a few positions across that front line. Yeah, it's options to have. It's brilliant. So yeah, looking forward obviously to seeing how she fits in, and not just her, all the new players really, and seeing how they all fit in, and what impact they can have, and where this coming season can go, because it's the fixtures are out today as well, which is quite exciting. You see the games and stuff like that, which is nice, and it makes it feel like you can start looking ahead to the season now. Certainly once this Euros is out of the way at the weekend. So yeah, lots to be excited about, lots to look forward to. And yeah, it's going to be a really, really big season for women's football in this country again, for the WSL, and hopefully for Arsenal as well along the way, picking up a few more nice little trophies, because we've got getting quite used to it again, aren't we? Like 3 seasons in a row, we've lifted a nice cup, so let's do it again. But yeah, we'll obviously look ahead to all of that later on. But before all of that, of course, we've got to look ahead to the final of this amazing tournament. I mean, before we look at the final, Andreas, I mean, obviously you was out in Switzerland, you're going back out for the final. What have you made of the tournament as a whole? Do you think it's been a good sort of positive tournament for women's football in general, or do you think maybe that there's a few things that still need to be improved upon?
No, it's a success. This tournament is absolutely a success, and it fits perfectly to the strategy from the UEFA to develop the women's football. And I think I said it last time, or I said it to my friends when we discussed it. It was good that this tournament is in a country, or hosted by a country who is not one of the top countries in women's football. And yeah, it will help to develop in women's football in Switzerland, but also the atmosphere and the way the Swiss people accepted this tournament as a football Euros, not women's football Euros. And the atmosphere was just fantastic. I was in St. Gallen for the Wales game. It's a smaller city. You can maybe compare it to Brighton, or also not as big as London or Basel or Zurich. Yeah, but this whole St. Gallen was breathing football. It was everything in every shop. Also, it was football all over. And of course, in the streets there were English and Welsh football fans dominating, but everybody seemed to be proud. We are the host city of a European tournament, and you could see this. And not only in St. Gallen, also in Basel and Zurich, where I was wearing the Lionesses kit, and the Swiss people were speaking with me, and they were talking with me in English. So you see, this is also, I think this shows their pride to be a host for the country. They thought, oh, this is someone from England, I have to talk in English with him. And and I have to talk with him. It's a guest from another country coming to my Switzerland, and I want to talk with this guy. Or in the train back from Zurich to Basel, there were 3 Swiss people in sitting around me, and they said, you were at the football game. They were not talking best English. Yes, I was for the Netherlands. England was the Netherlands game, and you English going to Basel back. And I was talking in English with them. I thought, okay, let them believe I'm English, and then the one who was speaking the best English, he said, he was at the Netherlands game, and England won, and so he explained to his colleagues, and so it was funny to see. Of course, they could have sat in the train and look at me and think, okay, let him sit there. And so, no, they wanted to talk to me, and that's what I mean. Everybody in Switzerland was proud to be part of this tournament and hosting Europe in their country, and this is very, very good for the development of whole women's football. That it's not every tournament in Germany or in England or in Spain where the biggest club in women's football are, but in a smaller country. So for me, this is really a success, this tournament, and I enjoyed my week there, and I'm looking forward to return to Basel on Sunday. I think the atmosphere will be thrilling again, and I hope to be part of the fan walk again if my train arrives in time. And so, yeah, fantastic. And
yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be amazing on Sunday. I'm sure the atmosphere will be incredible. It's probably the two best teams at the moment in probably in the world. When you look at their records over the last few years, so it's going to be an incredible game on Sunday, and I'm sure I say the atmosphere is going to be fantastic. It's going to be a great experience to be there, and hopefully the result will go away. I mean, obviously Spain have seemed to have cruised through to the final, certainly in comparison to how England have got there. Spain have done it reasonably comfortably. They haven't conceded a goal in the knockout stage, although I thought they were. I thought in the semi-final the other night, Germany had some chances, didn't they? And maybe with a better striker, Germany could have won that game. I thought they played quite well. Germany defended really well, and they had some chances on the counter attack. Nearly won it right in the last seconds as well, didn't they? With that deflected effort that nearly sneaked in. So, Spain had to overcome a little bit of adversity in that game, but obviously they've been probably they have been the best team in the tournament, I suppose. And you look at it in the way they've played and the results that they've had and the way that they've reached the final. And you've got to make them favourites on Sunday. I don't think there's much doubt about that. They did beat us in the World Cup final, of course, as we know. But I don't know. This England team seems to. I don't know. They seem to manage to find a way. And I must admit, before the semi-final game against Germany, I thought if Spain win, what chance will we realistically have? But then having watched that game and watching the way Germany played against them, you can see that Spain have got their weaknesses, and obviously it reminds me a little bit of the final on Sunday of the Arsenal-Barcelona Champions League final, because, the way Barcelona plays obviously very similar to the way that Spain play. And I think if England are going to win on Sunday, we might need to take a little bit of what Germany did the other night, a little bit of what Arsenal did in the Champions League final, deny Spain that space to ping the ball around and did not, defend your penalty area really well. And obviously we've got a goal threat, whether it's in the starting team or off the bench. My concern is our defence, especially the left side of our defence. We've really struggled in this tournament, not just in this tournament, for the last few years, really. We don't have a top quality left back. We're having to mix and match a little bit. Even Serena's made changes in defence during games that she'd never normally do. She's never had to do before, and she's having to do it in this tournament because defensively we've been really vulnerable in this tournament, haven't we? I think pretty much from the first game against France all the way through, we've never looked secure, apart from maybe the Dutch game. We've never really looked secure at the back. You always feel we're going to concede a goal at some point. And looking at the way that Spain attack the players that they've got, it's inevitable that Spain are probably going to score at least one goal. But that's the biggest concern for me. I think if we looked a little bit more solid at the back, maybe Millie Bright's been a big miss because she's got her limitations, but she's a strong defender still. Do you feel that England are going to have to defend a lot better on Sunday than we have in the tournament so far? Especially, I say that left-hand side looks really, really weak, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's our weakness. Absolutely agree with that. But overall, there were 16 teams starting this Euro, and now 2 are left. So it's first of all, it's a reason to be proud that we are in the final. And besides Spain, no other team has performed perfectly through all group matches or knockout games. All other teams has had their weaker games or their problems. Look at Germany. No good game in the group stage, and then this performance of passion and will and fighting spirit against France, also against Spain. But to be honest, I think Spain was the much better team in the semi-final and deserved this win. Although it was late, they left it late, and it was a lucky situation that Berger open this short corner. But anyway, Spain was dominating, and they deserved the win. Yes, Germany had their chances, but what over the 120 minutes, what did Germany offer? They were defending very good, and according to Spain, I think in the games against Italy, Switzerland, and Germany, we saw that you can beat them, or you can at least score against them. They have their weaknesses, and especially in defense, when you win the ball in midfield, and then you come with pace and corners. It's only Irene Paredes who's strong in the air, but the others, they have their weaknesses in defense. And another thing is, of course, they like to pass, and they like to have ball possession. And I sometimes said they fall in love with their own style of playing, and forget that not only it has to look brilliant, but they have to score a goal. And they nearly forgot to score against Germany. Lots of chances, very good chances. But if you keep them away of your box, and that's what Arsenal did against Barcelona, you can't keep them away from the box 90 minutes, but as much as possible. So let them pass. Let them have 75 or 80% ball possession and 900 passes. Pass accuracy 95% for passes for 2 or 3 meters. Yeah, let them do this in midfield. And if we have the ball, then play long balls on the wings. We have Lauren Hemp. I don't know whether Lauren James will be fit. Otherwise, Chloe Kelly will start, I think. So we have wingers with pace, and then bring the ball in. We have Leslie Russo, who knows how to score. And I would say we have our chance. In February, we have beaten Spain at Wembley 1-0. So we lost the reverse game then in Spain, I think 2-1. But also we were 1-0 up. So we showed that we are able to score against Spain. And if we score, then they have to score twice. So, of course, we must be better in defense. Let's hope Leah Williamson is at 100% again and can organize the defense. I think Esme Morgan played solid in the back, better than Jess Carter for me. And no words for Lucy Bronze. She's still fantastic machine. And as you said, it's the left side. Alex Greenwood or Neem Charles, whoever's playing there. I don't want to look at the names from Spain, and this makes you afraid when you see what firepower they have in midfield or in the attacking line. But anyway, if we can keep them out of our box for most of the time, and then maybe it's enough to score 1 goal. If Germany scored 1 goal, they would probably have won the semi-final, or at least went to penalties. So there is a chance, and it's one game, 90 or 120 minutes, and not a group game or something tactical. It's just one game starting 0-0, and Arsenal did it against Barcelona. We did it in February at Wembley. Why not again? Let's just be confident.
No, exactly. I mean, Spain are beatable. As you said, we've beaten them fairly recently. You know, we played them quite a lot in the last few years, and we beat them at the last Euros, of course, after extra time. And like you said, we beat them in February. And obviously Arsenal have shown that it's possible to beat that style of football if you're organised properly, if you work hard, and you do take your chances when they come along, as few as they might be, because Spain will have a lot of the ball. Of course they will. You expect them to, and that's fine. Let them have the ball. Greg says Switzerland gave Spain a hard time. So did Germany. I think they're running out of steam. Well, potentially, I agree. I mean, I thought Switzerland made it hard for them, and Germany did as well. But that's because both of those two teams defended really well for long periods of the game. In the end, Spain's maybe extra little bit of quality prove to be enough. I don't think England are going to sit back in the same way that Switzerland and Germany did. I don't think that's England's style. I think we need to defend well and properly and not give the sort of opportunities that we gave to Italy and we gave to Sweden in particular and France in the first game. But yeah, I don't think we'll play quite as a defensive style as Switzerland and Germany did, probably because Switzerland, that was our only hope, let's be honest, that they was never going to beat Spain by playing football against them. And obviously Germany, with the problems that they've had in this tournament with injuries and suspensions and one thing and another, they probably saw that as their best option as well. And as it turned out, Spain managed to sneak through both of those games in the end. They showed that they can do it as well. So I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. Greg says, I don't agree about Bright. She's put club over country and speed of the striker should be a liability. Well, no, I mean, I don't agree with necessarily her decision to withdraw from the squad, but that's her own personal choice. I just think as a defender, I think she's still a strong defender. I think she's very physical. And I think I don't think we would have conceded some of the soft goals we'd conceded in this tournament if Millie Bright had been playing instead of Jess Carter, for example. I think we would have been a lot more solid at the back. And I agree, she's not the quickest. She can be turned, and if someone gets in behind her, she's going to struggle. But she reads the game a lot better than Jess Carter. She knows the position a lot better than Jess Carter, and she's a much stronger physical defender. And I think we would have been a lot more solid had she been in the team. I'm not saying, she's the best player ever, but I just feel with the squad that we've got, that's a weakness that she would have helped to strengthen had she been here. But she isn't, and that's, it's her loss at the end of the day, because we're in the final again and she's sitting at home watching with us. One somebody kind of says, Mead, Kelly, Aubameyang, Wubben-Moy. She's like, well, of course they shouldn't, should they? Come on, Wubben-Moy's not played a minute in the tournament. Aubameyang's a great player to come off the bench and have a massive impact at the end. Kelly and Mead, you could have a shout for either of those two starting, yes, and I'm sure one of them probably will. As we say, Lauren James may not be fit because of the ankle injury that she picked up. So, but to say Aubameyang and Wubben-Moy should start is quite frankly ridiculous. Let's be honest. Wubben-Moy's not been on the pitch yet. I agree. Wubben-Moy should have started earlier in the tournament. I would have started her ahead of Jess Carter as a central defender, but she hasn't. So there's no way she's going to throw in the final. It's just not going to happen. It's just never going to happen. I doubt Wubben-Moy will even get on the pitch. But then again, she won a medal at the last Euros about getting on the pitch. She can do it again. She can do it again. Greg made a good point here. Serena needs to talk to Renna. Yes, I think she does. I actually think she should have. Maybe she has. Maybe she has had a chat to Renna. I'm sure they know each other fairly well, so I'm sure they would have done. But yeah, have a chat to Renna. Get Renna over there. Johnson, I'm sure Sharina watched the Champions League final and noted a few things. Yeah, of course she would have done it. Her and her coaching staff, I'm sure, everybody knows what to expect from Spain. Let's be honest. It's not going to be a surprise, is it, the way they play? They've played the same way for a long, long time, and I'm sure no one's going to be surprised. We'll have a plan. Hopefully, we can pull it off. At the end of the day, in the Champions League final, Rennes put a plan together to beat Barcelona, and it came off on the day because every single Arsenal player raised their level above and beyond what we expected. If England do the same on Sunday, the same result can happen. Absolutely, it can. It's just whether or not we can pull it off. So we shall see. Greg says, Bronze was ball watching for Italy goal and she doesn't chase back. Spain will concentrate on our right. Yeah, I mean, I think defensively, Lucy Bronze can be caught out of position because she likes to push on up the pitch, and we know that's what she's going to do. And it is sometimes a responsibility of the wide player on that side of the pitch, whether it's Chloe, Kelly, Beth Mead, LJ, to come back and cover her when she bombs on. And as long as that happens, obviously that cost us the goal, didn't it, in the World Cup final? Lucy Bronze being caught out of position, and that's where they scored that goal from. And you're right about Italy. I think one of Sweden's goals as well, I think, was down to Lucy not getting back where she needed to be. But at the end of the day, we know how she's going to play. And obviously the Barcelona players in the Spain team know how she's going to play. So, regardless of how good or bad she is, they're going to know the weaknesses of her game anyway, aren't they? And the strengths. So, but yeah, I mean... I think Lucy Bronze had a good tournament now. I think she's really been an important player for England in this tournament. And she got an important goal, and I think she's actually done well. Yes, she's had a few moments where she's been caught up the pitch because we've lost the ball and she's pushed on. and we've got caught out. But this is where the team has to cover, don't they? When a player makes a run, you've got to have cover for that player, and it's not always her fault that maybe what's happened behind her hasn't happened. And that happened in the World Cup final. It's happened in a couple of games already, but I'm sure things will be better in the final. John says, Serena watching Champions League. Noted a few things from our tactics and block Spain from doing what they do. I reckon Serena will use those tactics in the final. Yeah, I'm sure she'll use a lot of that in the final. You'd be silly not to, wouldn't you? Let's be honest, because Arsenal showed the way and how to beat that style of football in a final, and England need to follow that suit. I'm sure it'll be a totally different game. I don't think the game's going to be in any way similar to that Champions League final, but Spain play the way that they play, and we have to combat that, and we have to focus on their weaknesses. As Andreas said, they've got weaknesses in their team as well. Everybody does. They're not invincible. They're not a team that never loses matches. They do lose games, not very often, but they do. And we've got the weapons to hurt them. I think we have. And more so, we've got, they've got some strength on the bench as well. But we've got players off the bench who can really hurt Spain later on in the game. So I honestly think it's very, very difficult to call, actually. I think on paper you'd look at it and say, yes, Spain are favourites. Of course they are. They're the world champions. But out of all the teams in this tournament, and I said it at the start, of all the teams in this tournament, the one team I could see that potentially could beat Spain would be England. Anybody else you looked at and thought, have they got enough about them to beat Spain? Probably not. But I think we can. I'm not saying we are going to beat them, but we can. We've got the weapons to beat them, I think. And we're probably one of the only teams in this tournament that have the capabilities to beat them. And so far, they've won every game. So that's proving to be right. But let's see what happens on Sunday, because that's going to come down to that, isn't it? Greg says, we've only got a few days to get Stina to change nationality. Yeah, maybe that's what we need. But to be honest with you, I think we've got enough attacking power in our squad anyway. Michelle Adjumang will play the Stina role when she comes on, won't she? She'll just batter Spain. She'll just push all their players out of the way. She'll offer a physical presence up top, which sometimes we don't have without her. So let's play to our strength. Yes, we need to nullify their strength as well, but we've got to play to our strength, haven't we? That's what we've got to do, because we've got a lot of quality ourselves, and we are one of we're the holders. We are one of the best teams in the world, there's no doubt, and we can beat anybody, as we've shown. John says, agree, it'll be a game of 2 hours, prevention in the first half, attacking in the second half. Well, yeah, I do think that it's important that we start the game well. And if we set out to defend for the first 20-25 minutes, that's fine. That's not a bad start, as long as we defend properly and keep concentrated. Because I think in the last 2 knockout games for Spain, that's what the opposition have done. They've defended really well, but then Spain have taken advantage of them maybe losing concentration at points in the game, and took advantage of that against Switzerland for the 2 goals. Really, it was, slight. Switzerland switched off a little bit at the back, and Spain pounced. The goal against Germany was similar, wasn't it? For a second, you switch off, and Spain make you pay. And that's the danger that we've got. We need to be concentrated for the whole 90, 120 minutes, however long the game goes for. So if we can do that, we've certainly got the quality to cause them problems. Absolutely, we have. So yeah, no, I'm hoping that we start the game in the right way, and if that means do we defend, that's fine, but do it properly. Be concentrated, and don't make the silly mistakes that we've made in pretty much every game in this tournament defensively. That's what we've got to do, haven't we? I mean, that's going to be important, isn't it, Andreas? I think the first 20-25 minutes on Sunday is going to have a big impact. We said the same before the Champions League final, didn't we? If Arsenal could be 3-0 down in 20 minutes, it's game over. And in the end, of course, we kept ourselves in it, and that's what England need to do. We can't start as badly as we started against Sweden and as we started against Italy, as we played for a lot of the game against France, because there's no way back against the Spain team if we do that, is there? So I think that how we start that game, the first 20-25 minutes, is going to be really important, isn't it? Even if we sit back to defend, that's fine, as long as we do it properly.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we said before the Champions League final. It could be over at halftime. And, this is the danger, and of course we know this, and we know that we have to be on top from the first second, from the first whistle on, and we can't allow them to make their game and be dangerous with every attack and then concede 1 or 2 goals in the first half. If we are 2-0 down at halftime, I think it's game over. There is no chance to come back like we did against Sweden or Italy. Even if we are 1 goal down, and this will make it incredibly difficult, because then you have to open your defense, at least in the second half. Then you have to play more open and more attacking, and this will open spaces for Spain. So it's very important to start defensively solid, and I would be happy to go to halftime with a 0-0, and then then slowly starting to do our game, or to develop our strength, and Spain will be I hope they will be impatient. If it's for a long time 0-0, they might get impatient, and of course the Spanish players, they also know this English team is never beaten. They never give up. They saw in both knockout games how we can come back, and they will also have this in their mind. We must score. We must have 1 or 2 goal lead against this English team. Otherwise, they will come in the last 5 minutes. In stoppage time, they might come and score 1 goal against us. So, I think they have a lot of respect for our team, and maybe we didn't play brilliant in our games in this tournament, but it's not only brilliance, it's also efficiency, and we were efficient and when needed. But of course, please don't concede in the first 10 or 15 minutes, and don't be down 2-0 at halftime. I think then it would be game over. But let's be optimistic. 0-0 at halftime, and with every minute, then our chances will rise.
Yeah, I think so. I think that, a bit like what happened in the Champions League final. The longer it stayed at 0-0, the more confidence we got from the game, the more we grew in, the more sort of opportunities that we had, and it could be very, very similar in that respect on Sunday. It'd be lovely if we could get an early goal, maybe get ourselves in front, and then Spain will have to maybe slightly change that. They won't change too much how they play. They'll still play their football and stuff like that. But I think if we've got a lead to hang on to, then I think that would make a massive change in the whole, because we've not been used to that in this tournament, have we? We've always tended to be, certainly in the knockout games, we've been behind. We were behind against France for a long time and stuff like that. So if we can get ourselves in front, particularly if it was in the first 15-20 minutes, I think that would be massive. And I think Spain defend quite high out of the pitch. There is space in behind. We can exploit that. We can. And that's what we need to try and do on the opportunities that we do get the ball forward, which we will. We'll have opportunities in the game. Of course we will. Every team does against anybody. You can have a non-league team playing against a Premier League team in the FA Cup, but that non-league team will have chances in the game, because that's how football is. And we will get chances against Spain. Absolutely we will. If we're clinical and we can get ourselves in front, wow, who knows? But yes, it's going to be interesting. Greg says, Walsh needs to have the game of her life. She's been disappointing. I think her and Stanway have both been a bit disappointing for me in this tournament. They've not been at their best, have they? Either of them, for whatever reason, I'm not sure, but that's the way it's gone. But yeah, everybody's going to have the game of their life, really, realistically. Everyone's going to have to be at 100%, aren't they? Altogether, in the way that Arsenal were in the Champions League. England player, every single one of them is going to have to have their best, bring their best game on Sunday. The starting 11, the players off the bench, and then we'll have a great chance. If we've got 2 or 3 players that are slightly off their game, we're probably going to find it very, very difficult, aren't we? As has been the case in this tournament so far. DMD said it'll be a big footy match. Both teams have great players. Absolutely, it's going to be a great game. It will. It'll be a great advertisement for a top-level women's football. Absolutely, it will. Greg says the last team to beat Spain was England, and will be the next. Well, let's hope we are the next, and let's hope that we are the next, and it's on Sunday as opposed to the next time we play them, whenever that might be. But yeah, I mean, we are the last team to beat them. We beat them at the last Euros as well. And they've never won the Euros. Let's remember, we've got that advantage over them because we've actually won it before. They won a World Cup and we haven't, but we've won a Euros and they haven't. So maybe it's our time. John says, I'd like to see us get to 40 minutes at 0-0 with a solid defensive game, then surprise them by going for it the last 5 minutes of the first half. So we hopefully won up when we come back. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure the game won't work. It won't play out exactly like that. We'll get chances. I'm sure we'll set out to be solid defensively, to shut down the space and all that sort of stuff that you have to do against Spain. And I think in the first half, we'll still have chances, even when we're on the defensive kind of side of it. We'll still get chances on the counter-attack. We will, because we've got players that can cause problems on the counter-attack. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. And, yeah, like I'd love us to be 1-0 up at half-time. That would be fantastic, and it would give us a real big opportunity to win it, wouldn't it? But, you know, we saw in the last Euros, the final, the goals came fairly late, didn't they? All sort of second half and then in extra time. We did it when we played Spain in the last Euros. The goals all came in the second half and extra time. So, you know, as Andrea said, if it's 0-0 at half time, I won't have no problem with that at all. Absolutely, unless we've missed 4 or 5 really good chances and it's still 0-0, we should be in front. We might be a bit frustrated, but I'd be pretty happy 0-0 at half time. What about the team lineup then, Andreas? What do you think? I mean, I know Sarina isn't noted for making lots of changes to starting lineup, certainly in tournaments. She seems to have a sort of settled idea of her team, but injury doubts, a couple of players maybe not quite at their best coming into the game. What team first of all, what team would you pick? And secondly, what team do you think Sarina will pick? Assuming it's different, it might be the same.
Yeah, difficult. I think in defense, I would prefer Esme Morgan instead of Jess Carter. And yeah, I think Serena will do this too, because Esme Morgan had a good game against Italy, and yeah, she brought Jess Carter in the dying seconds of extra time. But I think she will stick with Esme Morgan. I would too. And then that's the question: how fit is Lauren James? Can she start? If the medical team says she's okay, then I think Serena will start her and will keep Chloe and Beth as subs. For me, I would start Chloe. I think she deserves it. Yeah, of course. The problem is if she starts, she can't bring or be the impact at the end of the second half. But can we always wait for the last 15 minutes and say now we will change the game now with our subs? So I would start her, and with Chloe Kelly and Lauren Hemp, we have two, let's call it weapons on the wings. And this could cause some problems for Spain. They also like to defend very high. I mean, Onabache, we know her, she's one of the best defenders in the world, but she loves to stand very high, and she's nearly a winger. So there will be chances for us if we get in counter-attack situations. So for me, it's Lauren Hemp and Chloe Kelly on the wings starting, and of course Leslie in the number 9 position. Then the next question is, what about Ella Toone? She had good moments, but I'm not convinced that she's at her top level. What's the alternative? Grace Clinton? I don't know. It's difficult to say. Maybe Lauren James could play on the Toone position on number 10, and then if she's able to play one half and then sub Ella Toone in second half, and for Chloe there is still Beth Mead as an alternative. So that's the positions I think are a bit open. Georgia Stanway will start. We need her physicality. She's not at her best. Of course, she hasn't played a single minute club football from January to June, and she gave her comeback for the Lionesses. But we need a player with her physicality. So she should start. If everybody is fit, then my midfield would be Kira, Georgia, and LJ, and then the attacking line, Chloe, Lauren Hemp and Leslie Russo. And in defense, as I said, Esme Morgan. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, in an ordinary kind of world, you would say there's maybe two or three positions in the starting lineup that would be up for grabs potentially. You know, I think obviously the centre back position is one of them, alongside Leah. Yes, depending on the fitness of Lauren James, you've got that right wing position. And I agree, Ella Toon has been a bit hit and miss. I thought she played quite well in the second half against Italy, actually. She wasn't great in the first half, but then no one was. I thought she played okay in the second half. But yeah, is she the answer? I'm not sure. It's a tough one. If Lauren James is fit, is she a better option in the number 10? Maybe. She's had very little impact playing wide, has she, Lauren James, in this tournament? Maybe she might be better getting more on the ball in the middle of the pitch and maybe having more impact. Because we said before the tournament, she was maybe the one player that we had that could do the unexpected and would maybe be the game changer. As it's turned out, she hasn't been the game changer. She's not. I don't think she's 100% fit, regardless of this latest injury. I don't think she was before her, and she's actually had not that much. Yes, she got a couple of goals, obviously, against Holland, and she played well in that game. But she's not had a great tournament, really. But Serena doesn't tend to make unnecessary changes to the starting team, does she, in tournaments? She just doesn't do it. She tends to stick with what she knows, what she trusts, and what's worked to get us this far. And in a way, you can't really argue too much with that. So personally, I think if Lauren James is fit, I think it will be the same starting 11 that started against Italy. So it will be Ella Toon, it will be Esme Morgan, and I wouldn't have too many complaints about that, if I'm honest. We know Chloe Kelly can come off the bench and have a massive impact in the game. We know Beth Mead can do the same. We know Michelle Adjemang is going to offer something completely different that could throw the cat amongst the pigeons, if you like, late in the game if we need a goal. It's worked so far. So I can't see there being too many changes. I think LJ is the one. Fitness is going to be key, isn't it? Because I don't think she's going to be fit personally. And then it leaves that position on the right for either Beth or Chloe to start and the other one to come on later on. I'd maybe be tempted to start Beth and bring Chloe on just because Chloe's had such an impact from the bench when against a tiring defence, although Chloe's a fantastic player and probably deserves to start. I don't know. That'd be a tough decision. I wouldn't like to have to make that decision if it has to be made, if Lauren James isn't fit. It's difficult to pick Beth or Chloe to start, I suppose. But anyway, Serena gets the big bucks to make those decisions. So let her decide which one she wants to go with if necessary. She does like Beth, doesn't she? She's picked Beth a lot. So maybe she would go with Beth and bring Chloe on. I don't know, but we'll see. Greg says we could drop Russo back to the 10 and Beaver Jones up front. I don't think she'll do that. I don't think she'll change. That's making too many changes unnecessarily for to cover one position. I don't think she'll do that. That's not Serena's style, is it? Serena's style is to keep things the same, so everybody knows what they're doing, and I can't see her doing that. It's an option, but that's more of an option for later in the game if things aren't working. You can make those tactical changes in team, can't you? But we'll see. DMD says Spain women play skill and smart football. Absolutely, of course they do. Yeah, we know that's what they're going to do. But we'll offer a threat. Gary says Beaver Jones. No, I agree. I definitely wouldn't start Beaver Jones again. She's a player off the bench. DMD says Marion has been good. Well, of course Marion is fantastic, isn't she? So we wouldn't have expected anything less. But yeah, so I don't foresee there being any changes other than potentially Lauren James if she's not fit. That's the only change I can see to the team that started against Italy. I think it'll be too much of a risk to throw Jess Carter in, having the tournament that she's had when she's had a lot of problems, a lot of difficulties in the game she's played. So I'm not generally convinced by Esme Morgan either. I've got to be honest. I'm not, but she's going to be the one who's likely to start. Lotta Wooben-Moyers, as much as we'd love Lotta to have a game and to play, I can't see Serena doing that. She hasn't used her so far when, at the start of the tournament, Jess Carter was left back and Alex Greenwood was centre back. And then when Jess Carter was struggling at left back, instead of sort of making a change, she just switched them over. And then she kept playing Jess Carter at centre-back when Lotta was on the bench and never even came on. So there's no way she's going to throw Lotta in the final. As much as I'd love to see Lotta play, and as much as I think Lotta's a better defender and a better player than Esme Morgan is probably slightly better on the ball, with the ball at her feet, potentially. She's maybe slightly quicker as well. And you can understand why she maybe plays. But, you know, I can't see it being too much different from the other night. D&D says strength and defence and Lionesses will be tactical. No, we need to be stronger defensively, whether that means changing the players or just playing better as a unit, defending better as a unit. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a hell of a game. Let's be honest. It is going to be absolutely unbelievable game, isn't it? We are going to be in for a treat, I'm sure, on Sunday. Andreas is going to be in for a real treat actually in the stadium. Wow, incredible stuff. And you guys are being for a treat as well, because no doubt Andreas will produce another fantastic vlog of the final. I mean, the one against Wales, some of the atmosphere that you got in that vlog was incredible. It really did capture what it was like to be there, you know, in the fan part beforehand, the walk to the ground, and obviously even in the stadium and stuff. It was just brilliant. So if you haven't watched that one yet, I know it was a couple of weeks ago, but definitely check it out because it was a fantastic vlog. And of course, the one against was it the France game as well, wasn't it? That was the other one. So, the Netherlands one. Sorry, yeah, the Netherlands one. Yeah. So definitely watch them two vlogs because they really do give a really good sample of the whole kind of experience of the Euros in Switzerland. You know, which is great because it's. We went to some of the games in the Euros in England, but when it's in a different country, the whole experience is totally different, isn't it? They do things in a different way and everything else. And it's great to experience some of that through Andreas's vlog. So yeah, definitely check them out if you haven't done so already. And I say there'll be another exciting one from Sunday's game as well, which is going to be sensational, I'm sure. So yes, this great tournament. It has been a great tournament. I've really, really enjoyed it. I've watched as many games as has been possible to watch, which has pretty much been most of them, actually. I think only when there was a 2 games played at the same time, I only watched one of them. So the only games I missed, really. I watched all the others. And it's been a great time. I've really, really enjoyed it. I'm going to miss it next week when there's no games to watch because it's all finished. But the good news is, of course, the new season's starting very soon. So we haven't got long to wait, have we? So we will get our football fix again quite shortly. But yeah, I'm going to miss the tournament because I think it has been really good. I've really enjoyed it. I think there's been some great football played. It's been played in a really good spirit as well, which has been great. Some of the refereeing a bit iffy at times, but we don't want to complain too much about that. But overall, it has been a positive experience. It has been a positive tournament for women's football, and it seems to be following on with the upward trend of women's football over the last few years anyway, doesn't it? And this tournament is an extension of that, I think, taking it forward again, looking positive. I say there's not too much negativity to come out of it all, really. And even VAR, for all its problems that we've seen at VAR over the last few years in English football, it actually hasn't worked too bad in this tournament, has it? VAR, it's not been. Yes, they've taken a little bit of too long sometimes to reach some decisions which seemed obvious from watching them, but it's not been. I don't think it's caused as many issues as it has done prior to. I think it's actually worked fairly well, actually. And I didn't want VAR in women's football. I probably don't want it in the WSL, but if it works as it has in the Euros, it wouldn't be too bad. I could maybe cope with it. I don't want it to be like it is in the Premier League because it's totally ruined it for me, and I don't want that to happen in the WSL. But anyway, that's maybe the one thing that needs to be improved overall, but it's not been too bad. Greg's gone for we'll win 2-1. I'm liking that, Greg. I am liking that, definitely. We'll take a nice 2-1. We'll take any win will do. John says, it's been absolute torture to watch England struggle through game after game. I hope we play our best at the tournament. Yeah, it's been a struggle and it's been torture, I agree, but also at the same time, it's been exhilarating and it's been so exciting. We've been put through it for 90 minutes, 96 minutes the other day, and 120 minutes and more against Sweden. But I don't know. It's been difficult at times to watch. It's been frustrating, but ultimately it's been exciting. And here we are, another final, 3 finals in a row. Serena's reached 5 finals in a row. The last 5 tournaments, Serena has reached the final. Obviously, 3 with England, 2 with Holland before. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? I mean, and you think English football, we've always wanted to have successful international teams, and it's never happened really. And now this is the 5th summer in a row an England senior team has been in a final. 2 of the men, 2 for the men, and now 3 for the women. Incredible. And obviously there's a tournament next summer, a World Cup for the England men. Maybe we can make it 6 in a row. But let's enjoy Sunday first. It has been a great few years for English football at international level. Finally, we've waited a long time for it. Obviously I know Andreas has seen Germany get to finals and finals and finals, and the men and the women over the years, and we're now experiencing a little bit of that as well, aren't we? The last few years, it's been great. I've enjoyed it. Never thought I'd ever see an England senior team in so many finals in a row. It's been brilliant. Really enjoying it, and let's hope that Sunday we can get another one over the line, because we've lost too many of them recently. We've lost to Spain in the last 2. Obviously, the men and the women have lost to Spain in the last 2 finals. So we need to get revenge this time. It's our time, isn't it? It's got to be our time. John says, I think I'll go 3-2 to us. Wow. Deciding goal in 89 minutes. Well, it's going to be Michelle Adjumang, isn't it? 89-minute winner off the bench. That's what's going to happen, isn't it? That would just be incredible, wouldn't it? Wow. If that happens, right, if Michelle comes off the bench and scores a winning goal in the final, she might as well just retire, because her career will never, ever get better than this, will it? You know what I mean? An equaliser in the quarterfinal, equaliser in the semi-final, winner in the final. Come on. You have to retire. You're never going to top that, are you? So that would be amazing. But I'm not sure if, 3-2 would be fantastic. But I don't know. I think it will be quite a tight, cagey game. It was 1-0 in the final in the World Cup. It was 1-0 when we beat them in February. They beat us 2-1 in the last game. They're always quite tight games, aren't they? There's never a lot of goals. But 3-2 would be fantastic, wouldn't it? We'd love that. It'd be a great watch, wouldn't it? Andreas, we need a score prediction then before we finish. What are you going with? Obviously, it's a tough one to call this, I think.
Yeah, I thought about this before, and I remembered what I said before the Champions League final. I said Barcelona will win 4-1. So and what happened? And what happened? This prediction aged well. No? So this time, no. We discussed everything, and it's important not to fall behind in the first 10-15 minutes as we did in the last games. Of course, we were struggling in the other games, but other teams as well. No other team performed in every game perfectly. Even Spain had their problems against Italy, against Germany, we have our chance, and as I often say, it's a final, and we start with 0-0. So let's go with 0-0 at halftime, and then, if we can score first, then everything is possible, and then the chance to win is extremely high. If we are the team that scores first, if Spain gets the lead, it will be very, very difficult. And I think we should be optimistic, and even if the mind says Spain is the big favorite and probably will win, I say this time, no, we are going to win, and we are going to win after extra time with 2-1. So, let's just believe in the team, and and for me, it would be fantastic to end this Euros tournament, my 5th live game, and then celebrate a win with all my English friends. Yeah, that would be fantastic. And by the way, 2 friends from Munich are coming to Basel on Sunday, and I convinced them to wear a Georgia Stanway kit. So they will support England too.
Oh, fantastic. That's what we want to see. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. That'd be good. Just to get them on the vlog, actually. Get them to have a few words on the vlog. That'd be good. Greg says, at least we'll have one Arsenal player winning Champions League and Euros. Well, at least one, yeah. Hopefully it'll be a few more than one. Hopefully it'll be 3 or 4. If England obviously win. But yeah, I suppose worst case scenario is at least we'll have one player that's won them both, I suppose. But we don't want that, really, do we? We love Mariona, and she's fantastic. But on this particular occasion, we hope you don't win on Sunday, and we can do it. obviously, I'm going to have to predict an England win, and I do think we can win. It's not. I'm not just being blindly optimistic because I desperately want us to win. I do think we've got a very good chance of winning the game. I think we've got the weapons to hurt Spain. It's just we've got to defend properly. That's my concern. Is that we're going to concede some chances and maybe concede a goal or two, and it will be really tough. But I'm going to be. I think on the day, Serena will have a perfect game plan for the match. I think the players will be up for it. I think they'll have learned lessons from the last couple of games where we've made too many silly mistakes, and I think we'll put it right. And I actually think we'll win 1-0. I think it'll be a tight game, and I think we will win 1-0. I'm not sure where or when the goal will happen, whether it's going to be early in the game or whether it comes late like in recent games, but I think we will win 1-0 and we will retain the trophy. And it will be another fantastic tournament for England and for Serena and for everybody else. And we'll see Leah Williamson going up and lifting another trophy, which she's getting quite used to doing now, isn't she? As vice captain of Arsenal and obviously captain of Lionesses, winning has become a bit of a habit. So yeah, I'm going for 1-0. It may well be extra time. I kind of agree. It may well be extra time. I wouldn't be surprised if it was, but I think we will just nick it. We'll come out on top. And it's going to be a fantastic evening. It's going to be a great occasion, and yeah, we definitely look forward to watching it. It's going to be great. So yeah, so you said you're flying out on Sunday, are
you? I'm going by train, yes, on Sunday morning, and then directly from the train station to the hotel, and then to the fan zone, and hopefully doing the fan walk, and returning on early Monday by train again.
Wow. How long does it take on the train?
Yeah, it's 2 hours. So it's nearly the same as if I go to Munich. So I have to go to Karlsruhe, if you have heard this city name. And then from Karlsruhe, there's a direct train to Basel.
Oh, that's not too bad. In 2 hours is all right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's okay, yeah. No need to take the airplane if the train is running directly, so yeah.
Wow, it took us 2 hours to get to Sheffield for the last semi-final. So to travel 2 hours to get to the final. Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Actually, that'd be. I'm sure that'll be it's going to be a great day. Obviously, to be at a final of a tournament like this is fantastic, isn't it? So hopefully, what year it would be, Andreas, for you, wouldn't it? Seeing Arsenal win the Champions League and then see England win the Euros in 2 months or whatever, would be incredible, wouldn't it? What a year! What a year it'll be. And of course, I don't suppose you've missed it today. Of course, the new fixtures for the WSL season were released today. Of course, Arsenal start at home to London City Lionesses, who of course got promoted last season. Spent a lot of money, got a lot of new players in. It's going to be an interesting game. So yeah, let's look forward, obviously, to that coming at the beginning of September, of course. So we'll be back with the normal Arsenal Women's show probably towards the end of August, I would expect, because we don't have the qualifiers for the Champions League this season, which is even better, isn't it? So we haven't got to worry about all that messing around, in the end of July, early August, wherever it is, and during the summer, playing these ridiculous games that we shouldn't have to play. And this year we don't have to, so that's good news, isn't it? So our season will start properly at the beginning of September. So that's great stuff, isn't it? Greg says, thanks for a great show and have a great time on Sunday, Andreas. Absolutely. Of course, I'm sure he will have a great time on Sunday. Of course, then once Sunday's out of the way, we can have a couple of weeks off from football, and then we'll start looking ahead to, all the new season. John says we don't play Chelsea for ages. But yeah, I think it's November, isn't it? The first game at the Emirates, and then I think it's January we play them the second time. Quite similar to as it's been in previous years, actually. November and January seem to be the times we play Chelsea, actually, doesn't it? Quite often. So they're going to be important games. There's no doubt about it. But there's a lot of exciting games to look forward to actually this season. So it's going to be a good season, I'm sure. And we've got to get that title wrestled away from Chelsea this year, haven't we? This is our year to do it. And I think building on that Champions League last season, it's going to be great, isn't it? And who knows? I say half of our team are going to be a part of the final on Sunday. So hopefully they'll be buzzing to get back into it once they won another trophy. Really nice, won't it? So we'll be here on Sunday. Of course we will, to bring you coverage of the final. I think it starts. Is it 5 o'clock UK time? It starts, doesn't it? The kickoff. So we'll probably go live a bit earlier, maybe about 4:30, just to get some nice build up to it and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be good. So join us for that. And of course, look out for Andreas's vlog, which we'll try and get on the channel. It'll probably end up being Monday, I would imagine, by the time the game's finished and all that, this and the other, we'll get it all sorted. So look out for that as well on Monday, because that's going to be good. And what we may well do is, at some point next week, we might do a show looking back on the final, potentially. We'll see. But anyway, we'll sort that out if we do. Otherwise, we might have a couple of weeks off and wait for the new season to start and look ahead to all of that. So, yeah, it's been a great tour. I really enjoyed it. Thank you to all you guys for watching throughout, the shows that we've done, the live games that we've done, everything else. Obviously, thanks to Andreas for his contribution, not only to the show, to the vlogs, everything else as well throughout this tournament. It's been great. So yeah, that's been really good. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And of course, we will see you on Sunday. Wow, the final of Euro 2025. England against Spain from Basel. It's gonna be an incredible game. So you definitely don't want to miss it. So join us for that, because we're gonna look forward to it. I say thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks to Andreas as always. You enjoyed the show, enjoyed looking back at the tournament.
Yeah, of course. And thanks to everybody who's watching my vlogs. Thanks for having me in the show. And as I say, I might have a German passport, but I have an English heart, and you all know that I'm really excited for the Lionesses on Sunday, looking forward to it, and it's always great to discuss it. And thanks to everybody who makes me feel part of this English family. It's just great for me.
And even the Swiss people think you're English as well now, don't they? So there you go. It's all good. And I'm sure you'll see a few more on Sunday as well. John says, thanks, guys. Enjoy Sunday. Yeah, and yourself, my friend. Enjoy it. I'm sure you'll enjoy the game. It's going to be fantastic, isn't it? What an occasion. So we'll see you Sunday about 4:30. So thanks for watching. Thanks to Andreas. Look out for the vlog, and we'll see you soon. Come on, you Lionesses. One more big effort. Come on, let's do it. Let's get that trophy. Let's get it back. Let's get it back. See you Sunday, guys. Take it easy. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye-bye.